Now, the Federal Executive Council has approved electronic cargo tracking device that will monitor all vessels entering and leaving Nigeria's water space. The Minister of Transportation, who disclosed this to newsmen after the meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, said the device will help curb the recurring incidents of oil theft along Nigeria's maritime waters. The minister disclosed that the electronic cargo tracking put in place a scheme already widely implemented in 26 African countries, including Ghana, Senegal, Benin Republic, and Togo. The device, according to him, is also expected to tackle under-declaration at ports, secure imports and exports, as well as provide transparency in cargo invoicing and declarations. Arise analyst Mr. Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss how this device can help to achieve the desired objective. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you for being here. Now, I'm just wondering how confident you might be that this scheme is enough to not only reduce, the possibility of oil theft, but completely eliminate it.
No device can completely eliminate oil theft because it's a form of pilferage, and the human element of greed is always there. But the purpose, the intention of the federal government is in place, and it's one to be encouraged. And one hopes it is not sabotaged, because there are traditional institutional efforts on the ground to monitor oil cargo and prevent oil theft. The reversion to electronic monitoring, which is what this is all about, is to save costs and to minimize loss, pilferage through collusion and connivance at the borders and at the ports. You have the Customs Service monitoring the borders. You have the Navy monitoring our waterways. But, piracy has been on the ascendancy, especially on the west coast of Africa, with Nigeria as a hot pot for such theft. But what the government has done now is to minimize loss and save costs, and make sure that even we have more from exports, because we are a mono product industry. Oil is our main source of revenue, and then if we do not keep it, because the cost of oil is already upon us, because most nations, when they discover oil, they sit back, they don't develop other industries. And at the end of the day, we discover that most of the best materials, the resources of the country, go towards the oil industry. So at the end of the day, if the oil dries up, which, given what is going on in the world today, the climate change effort, which is trying to minimize the effects of fossil fuel and burning carbon on the environment, all over the world, people are switching to non-oil means of energy. So for us to conserve what we have and make hay while the sun shines, the federal government is in the right direction and should be encouraged to do it.
Right. Now, one of the, shall I say, the pillars of hope that the government is putting on this electronic tracking is the fact that it's been successful in 26 African countries. Right. Now, some might argue that generally as African countries, it's not good to generalize, but for now, I will, for the purposes of this question, generally we face similar ills in terms of corruption, the human resource element that you alluded to earlier. But what is it that you think we can learn from other African countries? So as much as we do have the other elements that we're trying to grapple with, what can we learn from the successes of other African countries that share the maritime borders in order to try and limit the losses that we're making?
I think it's the other way around. The dog should be wagging the tail, not the tail wagging the dog. Nigeria is bigger than many of these African countries. We've discovered our oil since 1956 at Olobiri. So we have seen the ups and downs of it. Oil is not totally a cause. Look around you, you see development in this nation before political military intervention came in. We used to have 5-year development plans based on oil resources and oil projection and revenue. And we developed our nation. Look around you, see, especially in Lagos, especially in the Southwest, you see the infrastructure, the water development, the energy we have put on the ground to sustain our economy. Those are planned projects. So these African nations should come to learn the good part of what we have done. You get me? And in their own interest, look aside when they see our corruption and all that, and learn from our pitfalls. So Nigeria is a massive country, and we have enormous resources which we have wasted, but it's not as if there is nothing on the ground for it. That is my viewpoint on that. Yes.
I definitely appreciate that. Seeing that I'd like to look at Nigeria as pace setters, so I concur with that.
Yeah.
I want to go back to a point you raised earlier, based on my first question, where you said that you can't have a total elimination of oil theft because there are people who've been profiting from this oil theft for the longest time.
Right.
I'm just wondering what you think can be introduced alongside this scheme that might be able to douse significantly the attempt to possibly sabotage the scheme by those who've been profiting from oil theft all this while.
That's monitoring. It's an electronic device. So it's in electronics, they say garbage, or computer technology, they say garbage in, garbage out. There have been instances in many nations where this device have been put in place. When pirate ships, they have the devices, they will switch it off. It's like radar. If you are not on the radar, nobody can see it. That's sabotage. Then don't forget, I mentioned the institutional, traditional border and sea monitoring control systems, which involve the Navy, the customs. You can give you an analogy. In the banking industry, when they brought in the ATMs, the staff sabotaged the effort because their unions told them that once the ATMs get functioning, they will sack the staff, that there will be no need for human labor. This was a lie, because we need human labor to even put the ATMs in motion. So what they did then was to fill the ATM with old notes instead of crisp new notes, so that the ATMs got suffocated and would not deliver as planned. The same thing, that's the analogy here, what we are discussing now, is the electronic monitoring system may be sabotaged by those who feel they may not have, it's meant to eliminate human fraud. Mm-hmm. You have the customs, you have there could be some fraudulent intention towards it, or some bad intention towards that project from the customs, from the Navy. Even, occasionally we have the army patrolling and chasing the pirates. Bunkering has always been there. I don't think this can eliminate bunkering, get me? Because the devices are meant to be on cargo ships. Bunkering will always be there. And such things deplete our resources, our revenue, and that's part of why our development has been in fits and starts. But this, like I said, it is well monitored and serviced as it should be, and there is no internal collusion or connivance in top places and at the lower echelon. And because it's clear that at least we'll save revenue and minimize our loss.
And how do we get the buy-in? Because it all comes down to buy-in of the various collaborators who are supposed to make this work, to make it work, from the armed forces all the way to government officials. you know, in your opinion, how do we get the collaborative spirit going? Because it seems the people we need to collaborate are possibly the people who are benefiting from the existence of this terrible scourge.
Well, the issue is to make clear to them that their institutional functions are not endangered, that even the electronic surveillance system will help them work in a more comfortable environment, and they could feel safer get to that because they will know where to locate, not just facing gunshots from unexpected sources and quarters on land and on the sea. So once they buy them in, gain their confidence, or since they are military people, the best way to deal with them is to give them the order that this is what the government wants to do. All over the world, people say the military people are the best disciplined people to come in times of crisis. Just like you see in Turkey now, Erdogan sacked the military, but this emergency came in. The military are the best trained to do it. They pull back.
Very well said.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Arise News analyst, Mr. Dayo Sobowale. Thank you for joining us on Newsday. We appreciate your time and contribution. Thank you.